Alrighty. Coming in just a little bit early to test the sound. Might be a bit of an echo. All right. I know some people are already probably up in here. So I'm coming in just a little bit early. Alrighty. Nobody not gonna miss anything, my royal family. So I'm testing the sound, my royal family, and will y'all let me know how is the sound? Give me a 1 on the sound system. Am I clear? Thank you. So my royal family, I'm in here a bit early. Y'all know I usually start with music. I'm not gonna play any music today. This shit is so epic and so juicy. Anybody that's been following me, go get yo shit. Got mines. Today, a little bit of punch with some lemon and ice. Go get your weed, your wine, whatever your thing is. Go get your shit. Because it's juicy. When I woke up this morning, I was just browsing the news. True Roll ain't been around. Well, I've been around, but I ain't been around and been dealing with, some things and stuff. So juicy. Well, my royal family is I'm giving the royal family time to do their thing, get their shit. We in the retrograde phase. All right? Retrograde is oh so real. Now, be honest with me. Did anybody realize we are in retrograde for the next 6 weeks? Because I'm always reporting it, but I have been dealing with a lot. Oh, he got that pimp ham. Ain't it juicy? Real juicy. But I'm just asking honestly, have anybody been keeping up with retrograde? Okay. Wait a minute, look like somebody done lost a wrench. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold up. Now, y'all have to point these things out to me. Is that you, Linus? You done switched up the game. Okay, why they won't let this person? Okay, there we go. Add as a moderator. And not standard. It's gonna be a manager. Okay. Let me see here. Lioness. I gotta change yours up. Yeah, I noticed that, Linus. Okay, I'm gonna remove you, Linus, as a standard moderator. I'm gonna switch it up. Just give it a second. And okay. A step above. If you're having some sound problems, that's due to retrograde. And before we get into the juiciness, like the real juicy, let me check Tracy Nelson. Make sure. Oh no, you don't supposed to be standard, Tracy. Okay, we take that wrench from you, Tracy, and give you an upgrade. There you go, Tracy. Okay, you got that upgrade now. Some people, yes. And I'm gonna show that before, giving time for people to come in and do their thing. And so let me switch over real quick, and we're gonna get into the retrograde real quick, and then while I'm stalling, go get your shit. Juicy. So let me do a screen share here. Let's see here. And Linus, I really need to talk to you when I get off of here. It is urgent that I talk to you. Okay, Linus? It's extremely urgent. Okay, let me fresh that up. All right. And let me scroll that down slightly. All right, we need to talk behind the scenes, Linus. Serious. You got your tea? I got my I got fruit punch with some lemon in it. I gotta have my lemon in it. Wow, that happened before in our house. 2 microwaves broke. 2 microwaves broke. No, 3 microwaves broke. My husband blew up one. 2 vacuum cleaners went out at the same time. A heater didn't went out. Oh, it gets down. And I'm gonna read something to y'all. And that you see that it's right now. It's staging. Wait a minute. Let me take that back. It is hit direct. But I have proved to y'all it doesn't matter if it's staging, hit direct, or descending. The magnetic forces from that planet are felt. Now, when I was doing some research on no, it's not staging, it's hitting direct. But it don't matter because I've been able to prove that. And I even read an article that from the enemy stuff, and they do be stealing our stuff, and they wanted to prove that those forces are felt from the time it's staged when it hit direct and it descend. And I've been saying that. Oh yeah, we're gonna get on Carlson and Don Lemon. Oh yeah, I got that. Got that fruit punch too. Boy, put a little lemon in it. A little lemon in it brings some life to it. So retrograde is in the house of Taurus, and that's an earth sign. It governs stability in financial matters, and Mercury retrograde in Taurus signifies widespread instability in all matters. Not only this, but whatever agreements in person or on paper that you will make will be a disadvantage. The bull, which is Taurus, avoids hate, and they hate change. It is a fixed, stubborn sign. Due to Mercury retrograde in Taurus, major changes are in store for many of you. They could be good or bad depending on the situation. Furthermore, you could face stubborn, irrational attitudes from your partner, family, and friends. Taurus is all about a comfort zone, luxury, candlelight dinners, fine wine. I don't know why they put all this crap. With this retrograde in Taurus, you will feel irritated. The retrograde might push you out of your comfort zone. Not only this, but avoid, they said, avoid visiting salons and spas. You can run in a dire situation. You might also feel lazy, laid back. You might see plans being disrupted. Communication will be difficult at this time. Also, you can lose sight of your goals. All right. Okay. Now, do's and don'ts. Stay patient. Do not try to resist change because you can't anyway. Stay calm when you are pushed out of your comfort zone. Now, think about what's going on with Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson. What I'm reading right now. Okay? Think about what I'm reading. Read that again. Do not try to resist change because you can't anyway. Stay calm when you are pushed out of your comfort zone and embrace it. Whatever life throws at you, you know. Do not form any agreement or purchase property. You know, I've always said avoid making these big purchases. Let's see here. Keep your finances in check. Deal with irrational behavior of loved ones calmly. Try to focus on long-term goals. Reschedule your meetings. All right. We'll leave it like that. That speaks volumes. No, I did not see her get out of jail. I know that Lisa had reported it, but no, I did not. I did not. No, I did not. At all. So, folks is in here. And yeah, it's not funny at all. So I thought I'd throw that bonus in because I wanted to come in early to check the sound. So we know that Mercury is in retrograde, and according to the enemy's calendar, it ends at the end of May. And we're gonna now switch over and get into some juiciness. Wait a minute. This fruit punch is on deck with that lemon. Anybody, you got a lemon in any juice I drink, even excluded apple juice. Even if I drink orange juice, it's got to have lemon. Juicy. So Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson got the Pimp in. Juicy. So my royal family, I have a number of videos to show y'all. And I would encourage the royal family to go over there, the Superboy's channel. His channel is called Your World. I told you so. I told you so. Because, he can damn near predict the future with these folks. And he is over there tickled ass pink. Boy, Harvey had me cracking up. I haven't even finished listening to his video because I had to get over here. I said, I got to do a live on this one. I got to do a live, because it feels good to connect with your folk. It just feels so good. Juicy. So my royal family, let's get into this first video.
and cable TV are now out at their longtime networks, announcements that came just moments ago. First, Don Lemon announced on Twitter that CNN fired him. In a statement to NBC News, the network CEO said that the sides parted ways. That bombshell announcement came minutes after Fox News cut ties with Tucker Carlson. Now, Fox did not give a specific reason. Carlson is one of the most popular primetime hosts on television. Let's bring in Brian Stelter. He is the author of Hoax and Network of Lies and a Vanity Fair columnist. We should also note, also used to work at CNN. So, Brian, let's start with Tucker Carlson. What is Fox saying about this decision? Have we heard anything from Tucker Carlson yet?
We have not heard anything from Tucker Carlson, which is very revealing in and of itself. I'll just give you a very personal example. When I left CNN last year, when my show was canceled, and it happened very suddenly, I put out a statement. I wanted to speak in my own way. Carlson's not doing that today, and that's very interesting. Another big difference from a case like mine, I was able to sign off on TV, but Carlson is not. Fox is saying his last show was last Friday, and here's the big reveal. Carlson said on Friday's show, "Hey, I'll see you Monday." So he did not head into the weekend expecting this to happen. We don't know exactly why his show is suddenly ending, although I do believe that it's not just Carlson leaving Fox. At least some of his producers are also leaving. So that could be a clue that this has something to do not just with Carlson. It's not just, about Tucker. It might be about the show as well. Again, very few details because he's not commenting, but Fox is saying that his show will be replaced immediately with rotating hosts.
And Brian, it really is remarkable. Moments after the Carlson news, we learned that Don Lemon is now out at CNN. What are we hearing about that?
Yes, and just to be clear, this is a coincidence. Fox did not know CNN was about to do this. CNN did not know that Fox was about to do this. It is tempting to try to connect the dots between these two cases because they are happening at exactly the same hour of the day here on Monday, and because Don Lemon was critical of Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was incredibly sharply critical of Don Lemon in crude and insulting ways. The two men would trade barbs on TV, and they're both kind of icons of a certain era in cable news that was dominated by all things Donald Trump. But the Don Lemon case, I think, is much more related to his status on the morning show. CNN moved him to the mornings a number of months ago. It seemed to many to be a demotion because he was moved out of prime time. Some people wondered if it was related to the new management at Warner Brothers Discovery, my former employer. Don Lemon seems to think so because in his statement, he's hinting at larger issues at play and saying that he was terminated right after getting off the air. So I suspect we're going to hear a lot from him about this because this is not one of those going quietly situations where he's playing nice. Right now, CNN's playing nice, saying they parted ways and they wish him well. But Don Lemon not going to play nice in this case. I think he's going to have some sharp words for CNN. And like I said, this is notable because he's an icon of that era of cable news, that in-your-face, passionate, oftentimes provocative, sometimes even polarizing era of cable news defined by the Trump years. And as we all know, the Trump years may not be over. We're heading into another election cycle, but without Don Lemon on TV, and at least for now, without Tucker Carlson on TV.
All right, my royal family.
New and existing customers can choose the phone they want, like the incredible iPhone 14 on us.
Not to brag, but I'm on Verizon now. And I got to choose the phone I wanted for free.
Not that you're bragging.
Choose the phone you want on us. Verizon.
All right, my royal family. Give me just a second here, because I'm going to go much deeper. So just chill for a bit here. Back to the screen share. Let me get rid of this first one. And the second one. I'm going to go way much deeper into this, my royal family, and get a full breakdown on each one. But before do that, let me freshen that. Okay. Just checking out who's up in here. Still trying to switch people over from managing. Yeah, there's one right there. People have been with me for a long time. I'm taking away your wrenches and giving y'all upgrades. So you're not just standard anymore. Now you can manage. And it just says you can block words, change chat modes in live, and also have capabilities of a standard moderator too as well. I've been trying to change as many people as possible as they come through. So there's no slight or anything like that. These things take a while. Now, before we get into the full breakdown, because first I'm gonna start with Tucker Carlson. I got an 8-minute video that I'm gonna play on what news is that? Because I always like their news because they leave their personal feelings out. PBS, and I really like how they're commentating. But anyhow, I'm not gonna front. When I was the video where they were talking about both of them, I can't help just being human. Every time I look at Don Lemon, that his jawbone and around his lips looks strong. And you know why I'm saying what I'm saying. I'll just leave it like that. I just can't help but look at him like that. Oh, there's somebody else here that's getting ready to get an upgrade. Every time I look at his mouth, it's just like, ugh. That's all I can say about that. My royal family. So, I knew it was coming with Don Lemon. I'm not surprised with Tucker after I found out much deeper what was going on. You know, he was a part of the reason of costing Fox News some major coins. But still, the divine hand plays a major part in all of this. You can't continue to spew that type of negative energy and just think that you're not going to be touched. All right, Monique Hill, I just changed you up too as well. This is a slow process, but I'm trying to do as many as I can anytime we come together. Yes, I do, Tracy Nelson. Yes. You know what? I felt like the energy that I picked up when it came to Don Lemon was how he would get pissy drunk on New Year's Eve. And I said, that's going to catch up with him. You know, and one thing that you got to be really careful of with the enemy, that, you know, they will pencil whip you and they will gather up enough data on you where you damn near hang yourself. Now, did y'all pick up on, do y'all know how many years Don Lemon was with CNN? Do anybody know that special number? Let me see. Because y'all know the number. There you go. There you go. That number is ever so real. I talk about that number often. Often. Yes, Darlene X. Some people have laughed at me. Some people have said that I'm talking crazy. But Yahweh said I would always see that number. And we know what that number means. Overcoming the enemy in a complete victory. He said I would always see it. Isn't that something? And they talk about it frequently. Even Lisa got a video coming up with it, with that number too as well. So my royal family, Darlene X, we have a special gift. Not I. We are empaths. So it's not I. It's we. I can't take ownership. I can't do this without Yahweh. I can't do this without the royal family. And I'm humble, and I'm just not going to do that. And the reason why I say these things, because I can let you down, even with the best of intentions that I have, I can mess up. And y'all see how you can have some people that, you know, you watch their channels and you may strongly admire them, and then they screw up, and you see how folks can tear a hole into their ass. And so I've been out here long enough, and I've had it happen to me where I've been held up on a pedestal, and then I let somebody down and I get ripped apart. Yeah, I do have a strong faith. I'm a spiritual person. I'm not a religious person. I wasn't even raised in the church. But I will always remain a master student at the end of the day. But Howard told me that. So, my royal family, let's get into the full breakdown of Tucker Carlson. You know, him getting that pimp hand, getting that work. Y'all make sure you got y'all shit. I'm a scorpion, Tracy Nelson. That's what I am. Okay, let's get into this first one.
Every night, more than 3 million people tune in to Tucker Carlson's show on the Fox News channel. It is the most watched cable news show. Last year it was. A new analysis from the New York Times explores how Carlson is using his platform. Amna Nawaz has more.
Judy, as the New York Times describes it, for the past 5 years and more than 1,100 hours of TV, Carlson's rating success has been built by weaponizing fears and grievances of his audience to create, quote, what may be the most racist show in the history of cable news. To help explain Carlson's influence, Nick Confessori joins us. He's a political and investigative reporter at the New York Times and the author of that assessment. Nick, welcome back to the News Hour. Thanks for making the time. I think it's fair to say part of Mr. Carlson's rating success is built on leaning into sort of an us versus them narrative. He seems to relish the fight and the criticism and attention, so much so, in fact, when your articles came out, he tweeted a photo of himself sort of gleefully holding up the front page of the New York Times. I guess my first question is, why devote so much time and energy to him? Are you worried at all about feeding that narrative?
It's a great question, Amna. Look, he's a singularly important person in the modern right now. He's the inheritor of the MAGA tradition, of the nativist tradition that Donald Trump seized and rode to the White House. He's the highest rated cable show host in history. And it's also the most racist show in history. He has done something that no other host has ever done. And I'm not saying that lightly. It's a big claim, and I'll tell you what it's based on. Every night, that show teaches fear and loathing. He may claim to be a person who opposes racism and prejudice, but what the show tells you every night is to be afraid of people who are in the street asking for police officers to not shoot Black people. Be afraid of Afghan refugees who helped us in the war, who are coming over here now. To be afraid of Dr. Fauci, and to be afraid of immigration in general, which he posits is part of a cabal, a plot to destroy Western civilization.
You know, Nick, it's interesting because these have not always been his views. We should remind folks he's had a long history, a long career in television. He's been through multiple networks. He had a show at MSNBC and CNN, right here on PBS, a short-lived show as well. He's offering sort of a conservative, libertarian point of view. But you have written that he's never written extensively about exactly when and why his views changed, but clues are sprinkled throughout his career. So tell me about those clues. How do you understand that evolution of what brought him to his views today?
Well, if you watch his stated views over time, what really surprised me in reporting we did was how far back it goes. For the first few years of his careers in his 20s, when he was a rising magazine writer, he wasn't much of an ideologue. He was more of a humorist. And then after 9/11, pretty soon after that, he was staking out pretty stern views on immigration, at the time more conventional views against immigration. saying we need better, border security after 9/11. Not a crazy idea, widely shared at the time. Within a few years after that, on his MSNBC show, he's saying, of course, immigration at the southern border is an invasion. How could you deny that? It's an invasion. And over time after that, he bombs out of cable for the first time. He starts the Daily Caller. And within the Daily Caller, that magazine, there's a debate there among the traditional kinds of conservatism, the Reagan era style conservatism, and the new populism that even before Donald Trump kind of runs for president is bubbling up on the right and is sort of becoming the dominant force. He sees that. He seizes it. He's early to see that Donald Trump has what it takes to win the nomination and the presidency. And he more or less embraces the core idea of Trumpism, which is that these people are coming and taking your country away from you, and you should be afraid.
So among some of that messaging, right, featured prominently and frequently on his show, phrases and ideas that are really core to the racist white nationalist movement, right? The idea that people who believe this should be a homeland just for white people. You actually feature a sort of montage of some of those moments in your reporting. Just take a listen to this clip.
So anti-white racism is exploding across the country. White men, they're the problem. They hate white men more than they hate global warming. Those white men, Raytheon said, must, quote, step aside for a minority. As soon as we get rid of all these white men, everything will be great. White backlash, white resistance, white, meaning evil, cruel, and bigoted. So shut up, white man.
Nick, why is this a message that Fox would want on its air?
It's great for ratings. Fox's audience is only 8% non-white. And it's, I believe, it's 80% 55 and older. So it's predominantly an old white audience. People who grew up in a time when this country was much less diverse, when white people were 80% of the country, 70% of the country. And I think there's fear there. There's anxiety about losing power, losing preeminence in American public life and politics. And what he's done, and the reason, it's not just the anti-white racism kind of rhetoric on the show. He's literally taking ideas that began on the very far right, on arcane corners of the internet, on neo-Nazi sites, replacement theory, the idea that there's a cabal in America of elite leaders and business leaders and politicians who are not just in favor of more immigration, they're trying to populate the country with obedient voters from the quote unquote third world so that they can have control of the country. That's not having an argument about borders and immigration policy. That's taking a white nationalist conspiracy theory and putting it on the air on TV's top-rated cable show.
Nick, he's also aggressively defended January 6th insurrectionists and played down how violent that day actually was. On that point, actually, like a lot of programming on Fox, he's very much in line with the Republican Party and their message. What did your reporting find about that relationship between the GOP and Tucker Carlson?
Look, I would say he is the high priest of Trumpism. President Trump has been out of office since January 2021. He's been banned from Twitter and Facebook for a while. I think Tucker Carlson has filled the vacuum, kind of the media vacuum of Trump's absence. And one way he has done it is to respin what happened on January 6th as a new lost cause. And he's done it on half the episodes he did, almost half the episodes in 2021. He basically kind of recaptured and restated what happened. He said that these people were victims. They were lured in as part of a honeypot scheme, entrapment by the FBI. They had real grievances because the election really was stolen and nothing really bad happened that day. He's told that story over and over and over again. He's tried to make the aggressors on January 6th into the victims.
What about a response from Tucker Carlson himself or from Fox? Have you gotten that in response to your reporting?
Yeah, he declined an interview. He said on his show last week that, I was trying to shut him up, that I'm a bad dinner party guest, which really unfair. I mean, I'm a really fun dinner party guest. I'm a really good time at dinners. He says now he hasn't read the story. He seems very well informed about the story from comments he's made since it came out. I don't know if he's read it. Fox defends him, but of course they defend him. He's the money guy. He's bought in more advertising revenue in every year since 2018 than any other show on Fox, despite all those ad boycotts.
That is Nick Confessore, investigative reporter from the New York Times, joining us tonight. Nick, always good to see you.
All right, my royal family. Let me take this one down. Presenting. Okay. Let me get back over here. Okay, we're gonna cancel that. And I wanted to let me refresh that. Yeah, he was the money guy, but when I was I forget the amount. Somebody probably read the article. They had a big major lawsuit, so they lost a lot of money, and they're probably going to continue to lose a lot more money. And somebody said they was on life support. I did read that. Somebody put that in there about being on life support. But like I said, it's an energy. Energy is so real of negativity. Ooh, $787 million. Oh, damn, Tracy, that's a lot of money, and everything. And Fox behind the scene had to be getting a lot of feedback from supporting Trump. It's just a multitude of different things. And then they have to find somebody that they got to put their hands on. And then let's not forget his text messages too as well. Hey, Cap, how you doing? Let's not forget that too as well. That these fools, I'm gonna say people are complete fools. You out here texting. Anything that you put out is somewhere stored in some kind of data bank. Trust and believe that. It's somewhere out there. They got a big major case up here in the Bay Area where some cops, said some very disparaging things, which is not surprising, about us. And they got it all there. I don't know what you think you hit the delete button, the shit is gone. It's not gone at all. Don't ever believe that. So remember, we in the retrograde phase. All right? We in the retrograde phase. So don't lose sight of that. Be careful about how you send out your emails, and communication on all forms and all levels will catch up with you. And I'm incorporating retrograde in this because things are not what it seems during retrograde. And retrograde is a backtracking. So your past can possibly catch up with you. And things will happen abruptly. And look how abruptly this just came out. Bam. Now, the way that Don and Tucker are reacting, they are in utter shock. They literally are in utter shock that this went down. That's true, Darlene X. That's absolutely true. So I don't want to, just be dragging these live streams out because I hate real long extreme live streams my damn self. So now we're going to get into the next video of just the full breakdown of Don Lemon. And before I do that, I'm seeing some people come in that I ain't seen in a minute. Let me take y'all wrenches away and give you an upgrade. All right. So you're not standard anymore. All right. And I think it's one more person. Let me just make sure. Okay, that was just that one person. So don't panic if you see your wrench come down for a hot second. Y'all been here for a long time, and I just want to, give y'all an upgrade. Okay, my royal family, let's get into this last video. This one may be a bit loud, but I will adjust the sound on it.
Breaking news, we have yet another high-profile cable news host departure to announce. This just in, Don Lemon is out at CNN. Of course, coming after the news that Tucker Carlson and Fox News have parted ways. So this is quite a day so far. In a statement posted to his Twitter, Lemon said, quote, "I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned after 17 years at CNN. Would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I've loved at the network. It is clear there are some larger issues at play. With that said, I want to thank my colleagues and the many teams I have worked with for an incredible run. They're the most talented journalists in the business, and I wish them all the best." Statement from Chris Licht, chairman and CEO of CNN, says, "To my colleagues, CNN and Don have parted ways. Don will forever be a part of the CNN family. We thank him for his contributions over the past 17 years. We wish him well and will be cheering for him on his future endeavors. CNN this morning has been on the air for nearly 6 months, and we're committed to its success."
Yeah, well, when he alludes to other issues at play, I think a lot of folks are going to be thinking about some recent controversies he's been mixed up in. Of course, who can forget his little colloquy about how Nikki Haley was past her prime. But what we learned is that that's maybe just the tip of the iceberg. Variety did a longer profile earlier this month titled "Don Lemon's Misogyny at CNN Exposed: Malicious Texts Mocking Female Coworkers and, quote, diva-like behavior." There were a number of instances, including apparently calling one of his producers fat to her face, getting into a weird spat with co-host Kyra Phillips, who was later taken from her show. But when she landed a gig on CNN, reporting on a reporting excursion assignment in Iraq that he really wanted to be a part of, apparently he sent her threatening texts anonymously that were traced back to him. People didn't know what the actual result of the internal investigation over that was, but they were separated as a co-hosting team after that. And it seems to be really part and parcel of a pattern of behavior. So perhaps it should not be so surprising that he was let go. Perhaps what's more surprising is that it took this long.
Sure. I don't think any of us were nearly as shocked to hear that Don Lemon was being let go as we were to hear that Fox News is parting ways with Tucker Carlson. Right. Even though, as we talked about in the other segments, there was the ongoing, the legislation, the lawsuit with Dominion. There was going to be future lawsuits. Potentially, it has something to do with that. The timing would certainly seem to suggest that, although we don't know for sure. Don Lemon is someone who's been a little bit mired in controversy, as you noted, as of late. Was someone who actually had shown kind of basic contempt for his colleagues in the realm of the journalism they were doing.
There was he very much bought into the Jussie Smollett allegations.
Yeah, that was so long ago.
Hate crimed. He got on the wrong side of a lot of Black folks by participating in some of the kind of pull up your pants, stop sagging kind of shaming of, clothing and things like that as an excuse for why there were various disparities in the community. He, in 2014, got a lot of pushback when he told a Bill Cosby rape accuser that she could have stopped an attack by biting the comedian's private parts. Where
will we turn to now for that commentary that he's gone?
We were joking during the Tucker segment or not joking, but saying that he very easily could go somewhere else and hang up his own shingle and start a podcast or YouTube show or a Substack or anything he wanted to and immediately have an enormous audience, because that's the power of him.
Right.
That Don Lemon is not in the same position. In fact, arguably, CNN has been shuffling him around from show to show without recouping much in the way of audience shares. He doesn't seem to have the same pull as certain other media figures, and it is unclear why, especially given this long record of bad behavior, they've decided to keep him around as long as they have. For those of you who maybe have forgotten the latest controversy, I think we have a clip of that fracas over the Nikki Haley critique. Let's take a look.
Let's play that one more time, please.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. when a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you
That's not
talking? Wait,
that's not according to me.
prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. So I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
You need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about
the messenger?
prime
I'm
for
just
being
saying
president?
what the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home. When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s. And I'm just saying Nikki Haley should be careful about saying that politicians are not in their prime and they need to be in their prime when they serve, because she wouldn't be in her prime according to
Google,
or whatever it is. This whole
Man, that never gets old. And when you read this Variety piece, it's wild how many of these instances he's had. Apparently, he was on a panel with S.E. Cupp last September, and she was stumbling over a statistic. She's, was trying to come up with it. And he said to her, is it fair to say this because I'm not a mommy, but is it mommy brain?
Stop.
Just stop. So remember, CNN has asked a lot of people. There was the whole Cuomo debacle over the brothers, a media brother helping a political brother kind of massage a very difficult political situation he was in during
Brian
the COVID
Stelter
years.
exiting.
Brian Stelter. And over again, Lemon has survived the axe. This is the end of an era. I will be looking forward to seeing what he does next.
Stelter was pointing out, with respect to both of these individuals, Tucker and Don, Stelter was saying that he got a final show. He was let go, but he was allowed to do a final show, and this will not be the case for either of those individuals. Again, we don't know exactly what the Tucker situation is. The Don Lemon case, we do know he was fired.
Yeah, and Don
Very
Lemon seems
abruptly.
pretty chatty based on the statement we read out earlier that he just tweeted out a few minutes before we started rolling this. So I suspect we're going to hear more from him about how he perceives that he was wronged here. So we will give you updates on that when it happens.
These White House correspondents' dinner parties this weekend are going to be everybody fearing for their jobs and their lives. Something is happening.
Do you think that there's a relationship between these two huge firings happening on the same day?
I mean, no.
Or not firing. We don't know what happened with Tucker, but
I don't know what the relationship would be. It is a wild coincidence that these are, Don Lemon leaving is not as earth-shattering as Tucker leaving is. It's still a pretty big deal.
I mean, the scuttlebutt in the news space is to say, if you want to bury something, you release it on a Friday.
Yeah.
So these are both coming out on Monday.
So maybe the Tucker thing happened, and then
they're trying to
decide,
bury
here's how we bury it. We fire Don Lemon. We are go on Operation past his prime.
I mean, it very much is the lesser of the two stories.
Yeah.
But there is this other way in which it becomes attached now to the Tucker Carlson story and might have more legs. What we need is for these things to happen in three. So who's next, Robbie?
MSNBC has to cut someone
to offer up someone as tribute.
Not us. The threes will not be on this little mini Rising network. All right, more Rising right after this.
All right, my royal family. Ooh, girlfriend, get off your knee pads. Get all the way off your knee pads. Sit up there scared to death. Girl all on her knee pads. Scared. Black commentators are scared. I like to be the fly on the wall when they be having them little luncheons and stuff, and say they gonna say whatever they gonna say to massa to try to keep their jobs at the end of the day. Ain't it juicy, my royal family? Do I got any fruit? Oh yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, hold up. Juicy! Oh, that was a juicy ass Monday. I'm loving it, my royal family. So, my royal family, we know that we are in the retrograde phase. According to the enemy's calendar, it will end at the end of May. There is no need to fear retrograde. Respect the universe. That's what it's all about, my royal family. See, the enemy wants you to fear what they cannot conquer. Keep that in mind. It does not last for 3 weeks. It lasts for 6 weeks. Just keep that in mind. And I'm happy that a lot of people in here realize it was retrograde, because I've been gone. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff. And so, you know, it is what it is. But it's nice to reconnect back with the royal family, because I've been able to change out y'all being a standard moderator, now a managing moderator that gives you more latitude to do your thug thizzle at the end of the day. So my royal family, yes, keep me in prayer, keep family in prayer. And according to what's going on in my life, I don't foresee anything yet, but I will be doing more videos. But one thing that I've had to do was deal with my immediate situation, which is very important. Sometimes you have to take your own advice. So I'm at a point in my life where I'm taking unquote direction at the end of the day, which is very important and stuff. So my royal family, do what you do best. Render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe. Got one more person that I'm changing from standard to managing moderator. Came in just in the nick of time. And Queen, thank you for your donation. I got your donation the other day. I'm not going to mention who your name is. I thank everybody for anything that y'all do on the True Royal family, or my backup channel is True Royal. All right, my royal family. I'm going to shut down. Lioness, call me in about 5 minutes. I need a 5-minute window. Please call me, Lioness, in 5 minutes.